Rivalries aren't born in one fight. Whether it be against a frenemy or an arc villain, some of the most engaging aspects of anime are the multiple fights featuring a plucky protagonist. Rematches are a nice way to gauge character progression through arcs, and it's a good way to give something to fans to look forward to. After all, wouldn't you want to see your now stronger hero once again taking on the enemy who stomped him a while ago? It's indeed these rematches that give birth to some of the most legendary rivalries that we've grown to love. So let's take a look at some of the top anime rematches in history. Crocodile and Luffy had their fair share of run-ins during the Alabasta arc. In that arc, they had 3 fights, and while Luffy put up better showings in each fight, the powerful warlord would keep putting him down decisively. Make no mistake, the fights against Crocodile have final boss fight vibes written all over it, and the Master of Sand seems nigh unbeatable, all things considered, except for one factor. Come the third fight, our hero finds a way to get over the hump. For all his seeming invincibility, Crocodile has one major weakness: water. Luffy uses this single most effective weapon against his nemesis, getting into his head. One could say that Luffy had plot armor for this fight, but we can also argue that Crocodile was defeated because he lost his cool. He lunges at Luffy and puts himself into the only position the Straw Hats leader could win. Overall, this makes for a nice, smart final fight where it certainly didn't feel too ass-pully. Shonen goodness doesn't end there, with our next fight being Ichigo versus Grimmjow. As is traditional for shonen series, the start of a new arc means the hero's old powers are usually obsolete or power creeped by a new villain. Bleach is no exception, with Ichigo's Bankai, which he spent many episodes mastering, quickly being matched and eclipsed by a new kind of enemy. In this case, it's Grimmjow, who gives him and Rukia a beating after revealing himself to be one of those Shinigami hollow hybrids that Aizen had talked so passionately about. The two come face to face again inside Hueco Mundo, this time ready to reveal new power-ups of their own. Ichigo comes to terms with his inner hollow, while Grimmjow's all but ready to whip out the Alucard version of Bankai. The two collide in a back and forth fight that shares similarities to the last Renji fight. Carrying his resolve to not only defeat Grimmjow but also Aizen and Ulquiorra, Ichigo overcomes the Alucard's claw blades and finishes the fight with a decisive slash. Need I say it? Achilles vs. Chiron Round 2 is by far one of the best sequences you'll see in Fate series. With good old hand-to-hand combat goodness, it's a fight that makes you want to see it keep going. You've seen Psycho Pass's famous hand-to-hand battle, and I think this fight's on par with that one, if not better. You can feel the energy and the force with each punch and hit delivered by the two fighters in their prime. Their previous encounters leave a lot to be desired, but we can see Achilles slowly making headway in overcoming the wall that prevented him from fighting his former friend outright. In this final battle, the gloves are off, and we're treated to possibly the best payoff for a rivalry between friends. For a Titan, let's just say that early Eren doesn't have the cleanest win-loss record. Previously, in the episodes more known for the deaths of Petra and the other members of the Levi squad, there was this one fight between Eren and the female Titan. Transformed by rage and carrying all his unbridled fury with him, Eren attacks the female Titan, only to get absolutely destroyed. This ain't fairy tale, man. Nakama power won't get you anywhere. Just ask those guys from the Levi squad. Eren actually got beaten so bad that he kind of pulled a Hulk way before Infinity War. But not this time, with the female Titan once again on the attack. After some struggles in bringing the inner Titan out, Eren springs into action once again. If you need any more indication of how strong the female Titan was in comparison to Eren, this fight should erase all doubts. Even in this rematch, Annie still gets the upper hand on her opponent. However, this time, Eren has the right backup that he needed. With the Survey Corps intervention, Annie finally falls against the might of humanity, rendering her in a state of being trapped inside a crystal. Rematches are the best if the two characters have chemistry with one another. What better pair to have that chemistry than the childhood friends Midoriya and Bakugou? With vastly different backgrounds, personalities, and life trajectories, it comes as no surprise that the two former childhood friends would butt heads once more upon their reunion as teens. The two battled in one of the most emotional fights in the Provisional Hero License exam arc. Back and forth they went at it, with Midoriya even getting to show off some nifty new tricks with his quirk. In the end, Bakugou emerged as the surprise victor, but he doesn't find any joy in the victory as he's confronted by All Might with the harsh truth at the end. Our next lucky winner this time is the rematch between Lancer and Archer in Unlimited Blade Works. I'm willing to bet that Ku's one of the strongest servants in the Fate Stay Night timeline. You're talking about a guy who made Gilgamesh work half a day for victory in another route. In UBW, he's no slouch either, as a second encounter with Archer allows him to finally show off his true capabilities. No longer held back by anything, Lancer goes all out in his bid to defeat Archer. Sparks fly and explosions abound as the two strong servants go the distance, showing off pretty much everything in their arsenal. Had it not been for Archer's sheer experience and resourcefulness in battle, the fight would have been over quickly in favor of Ku. Give credit to Archer too though. Not a lot can survive Gay Bulk. Ro Ayas barely managed to block it and save him by the teeth, but it's nonetheless impressive for him to be able to stop the ultimate spear. Both beings of questionable morals and perfect fours for each other, it seems that Alucard and Anderson were simply made for each other. They had their first encounter early on, and it was too bad that Integra had to rob us of an epic-looking fight that was just about to begin. It took a while before their final fight, and boy did it deliver. Coming at each other with their full strength, the two unleashed their furious attacks in succession in a touch-and-go battle. The match is a key highlight of the series, and it featured a lot of run-ins, newly revealed forms, and twists. In the end, Alucard stands tall, and Anderson never really stood a chance in a straight-up battle. Although one can argue that even Anderson himself saw his defeat coming a mile away. Nevertheless, who could refuse the chance to settle things with your rival once and for all? In the next chapter of possibly anime's most iconic rivalries, Goku takes on Majin Vegeta. When this battle came out, it was one of the most anticipated battles in the Dragon Ball series. Featuring the much-awaited rematch between Goku and Vegeta, this isn't just a battle, it's an illustration of how far these characters have come. It may not be a death battle like the first fight, but it has more to it than what people typically give it credit for. Personally, the fight had all the elements of a classic DBZ fight, but I'd like to focus on the surprising depth this fight had. Goku actually had access to SSJ-3 but held back, while we can also see how far Vegeta had gone in his mad quest for power. I think some are disappointed by the fight because of hindsight, as knowing that Goku could have easily won and just allowed his opponent to fight him on an equal field seems to cheapen everything. But as I said, I actually think that knowledge improved my opinion of the fight given the reasons above. We cap off this list with probably the most storied fight in shonen anime history, Naruto vs Sasuke. These two have been through a lot, haven't they? Destined to be rivals whose fates intertwined, Naruto and Sasuke had their decisive final showdown at the end of the series. Throughout it, Sasuke's been that one major obstacle, that one wall to climb, that one symbol that stands opposite everything that our jumpsuit-wearing ninja stands for. It's only fitting that they had one final battle. After all, Naruto did spend half the series looking for Sasuke, and their previous confrontations have generally ended in Sasuke's favor. This time, with Madara and Kaguya taken care of, Naruto has one last thing left to do: knock the edge out of his old buddy. Fittingly, the latter has the same idea. And fight they did. They put on a show to be remembered. Coming at each other with the peak evolution of their powers, Naruto and Sasuke fought to a technical draw. In the end, Naruto was awarded the technical win, as the former friend turned enemy finally relented and made peace with his eternal rival. And that just about wraps it up. Care to tell me which one of these rematches is your favorite? Maybe you could suggest another rematch for me to include. Who knows, a volume 2 might be on the way sooner than you'd expect. For more content like this, make sure to stay tuned. In addition to these top 10 lists, I'm actually thinking of creating even more new content to make your 2020 a great one. What could it be? Only one way to find out. Hit the like and subscribe button as well as the bell button. I'll see you next time on ViniiTube.